Hey, hello, everybody. I'm John Smalley. As a lot of you guys know, I'm the CEO of Symterra Inc. We're the worldwide leader and innovator in scientific bird control. I'm here today with Scott Tilley. Scott, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me today. As you already know, I'm on a mission to have 52 meaningful conversations over the next 52 weeks with leaders in pest control, agriculture, business, and sustainability. My goal is to explore what the future of sustainable pest control looks like, what's working, what's needed, how innovation can help us get there, and how it's impacting people like you. Along the way, I'm also trying to share insights about what we're building at Symterra, but more importantly, I want to learn from voices like yours. So, Scott, really appreciate you making the time to talk to us today. You have the Symterra Pulse system up at your ranch, which is TRAK Ranch. So maybe take a minute or two and tell us a little bit more about TRAK Ranch and who you are and what you do.
Well, we're a therapeutic ranch for animals and kids. We're an 18-year qualifying charitable organization. We've impacted about 70,000 children in 18 years.
Wow.
We do a variety of community service work, from assisted living homes, memory care facilities, children's hospital, Arizona School for the Deaf and Blind. There's many more collaborations. We're very proud of our community impact. We really feel that our Western culture and values and the ranch offers a great vocational way for families to come learn, be around some of the livestock, actually learn how to, in this case, harvest water, be a steward of the land. And so that's why we've partnered with you with your bird system, and it's been very effective, and we really love what you're doing.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. I want to ask you more about that in a minute, but tell us more about that property. You've got an amazing property. You're in Tucson, Arizona. I've been fortunate enough to go there, have my kids go there. But tell us, the size, the amount of horses, the amount of animals you have, the reasons you had bird problems. Give us a little bit more insight on that, please.
Yeah, we've got about 27 horses or equines on the property. We also have goats and sheep, potbelly pigs, chickens, rabbits, ducks, a couple dogs, cat as well. The property is sitting on about 6 acres. All of the corrals and stuff that we have for all of the animals all have roofs. Here in Arizona, we are very conscious of our water conservation. So we have rain gutters, we harvest our water, and we reuse it because there is a drought in Arizona, been one for a long time. And the state of Arizona is really cutting down on our water usage and things like that. So we're very conscious on that. We teach it to the public. We teach it to our young people as a part of their learning process of the steward of the land. So we catch about 8,000 gallons of water if we get about a half an inch of rain here in Arizona.
Wow.
And so you can imagine how far that will go in a ranch operation from, washing horses, cleaning things, running misting systems, just a variety of uses that we use for that water that we harvest. We also use it to run an outside restroom, so that recycled water also gets used to flush our toilets for the outside. So we're really water conscious in terms of the ranch and how we operate.
Awesome. Well, I can only imagine with that amount of animals, those amount of barns, that amount of water that you have that we don't typically have available in the desert, and the amount of animal feed that you have quite a bit of the birds, and different birds at your property. Can you do me a favor? Can you tell us, our audience, a little bit more about what life was like before implementing Symterra's system at TRAK? What kinds of challenges were the birds causing for your animals, Scott, for your staff, and for your property?
Well, as you know, like putting in some of this infrastructure to harvest the water is pretty large expense. In the front end, as you harvest the water and be able to use it, then it starts to pay for itself. But the one thing that we really ran into, because we do have so many animals and we have so much feed hitting the ground, is we had a real pigeon problem. The pigeons were, they learn the feeding cycles, and they nest, and they defecate on all kinds of stuff. Needless to say, they were defecating on the roof, was getting into the rain gutters, was getting into our water harvesting system, and pretty much all that expense and all the water that we would catch, other than watering trees, we really couldn't use it to do anything else anymore than maybe flush the toilet and water trees. So at one point we put screens on the rain gutters to try to, to deflect the bird defecation. But as it hits water, it just kind of turns into mush, and it still was getting in there. So after, draining these tanks and cleaning them out, and some of these tanks are pretty large, we'd have about a foot and a half of bird dung in the bottom of these tanks. And I mean, it's a pretty extensive, long process job to get them clean them out with bleach, get them back to where we could use them again. But meanwhile, the birds were just steadily, contaminating our water. And because we're a therapeutic ranch, some of the traditional ways of dealing with bird problems, and some of my fellow ranchers, they go out there with a shotgun or something and start taking care of it themselves. Problem with me is I'm right in the middle of town. We're kind of like a ranch right in the middle of the city, and we're a therapeutic ranch, so it really wouldn't be very good for me to go out there with a shotgun when I have people there for therapeutic services, if you know what I mean.
I do. And since my goal is to push sustainable pest control, I'm really going to advocate that nobody goes out there with a shotgun. But maybe for your other ranchers and our audience, give us a little bit of insight. We put the system up. How's it changed things? What are you seeing?
It's been phenomenal, John. The birds stopped landing on the roof. Now they're landing on the ground, where I don't mind if they defecate on the ground. It's not getting into our water system. It has been phenomenal. The roofs are literally clean. They do not land on the roofs anymore. So I mean, you guys have got it dialed in. I'm just so pleased with the product.
Well, I love hearing that. That's why I show up every day. But I love the fact that we're helping a nonprofit like yours, and a company that's doing so many good things. So really appreciate that feedback. But as someone, Scott, who works both with just close with not just people but animals, how would you describe the value of having a safe and low maintenance and discreet bird deterrent system like Symterra?
Well, I think nobody really knows that it's there. It's quiet. It doesn't affect any of the other animals. It doesn't affect the humans. And, really, some people still like to see the birds. They like to hear the birds chirping at the ranch. I mean, I hear this from my clients all the time. It's like, man, it's so beautiful here. We're like right in the middle of the city, but you hear all the birds and the horses and the animals. It's just amazing. So you're not hearing a shotgun going off, or them actually just seeing, trapping of animals too, because I know like some of the other pest control companies that we had tried previously to using you guys, they would trap them in a basket and then haul them off. I also attempted to do this myself. And I would literally, John, I'd drive them out. I mean, out to the end of town, way to the other end of town. And I swear these birds would beat me back to the ranch.
You don't have to swear. They do.
Yeah.
Our system is scientific and operates off of the bird's ability to navigate, and they navigate using the Earth's magnetic grid. So while you got to wait at stoplights and take curvy roads, that bird's taking a straight line back to your roof. So yeah, you're right. And I'm happy that, you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, we put a lot of time into trying to fix this solution and fix this problem and try to, maintain our investment with the water harvesting. And until you guys came along, we were ready to, pretty much just give up on the water system because of just the constant problem and time that we had to spend to maintain the tanks and maintain the roofs and stuff. So we're very grateful for that product.
Good. The water saves you a lot of money, allows you to operate, allows you to be environmentally friendly. A couple questions that we face a lot is, does the system work? I think you already answered that. And then we want to know how safe it is. Scott, have you seen any issues with the system hurting a bird, or have you seen any issues with employees or people being hurt by the system?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know it's there.
Yeah. And if you touched it, it's insulated, right? So there's no shock anymore to our system.
Yeah. No, well, it's up on the roof. So unless somebody's up on the roof, there's no really reason to be up there touching it,
Yeah, true. Last question, and I'm going to let you get back to your day. As you know, and actually we have a partnership with you guys, but the system, it's not cheap, right? We hear that a lot. You're more expensive than other options. What would you tell somebody who is on the fence about whether to make the investment into Symterra Pulse? What feedback would you give somebody who's thinking about whether to do it or not, especially maybe in relation to the impact that it's had on your P&L and your business?
Well, first of all, I'd say your time is worth the money. My time was certainly worth the money, and the amount of money that we've thrown at other pest control companies to try to deal with the situation that really was ineffective. The amount of time that I paid my staff to clean, and we put screens on the gutters. It'll pay for itself very, very shortly, because you're no longer dealing with that bird feces all over everything that you don't want it to be on. If you want to target it to some specific area, your system can target it to that specific area. The birds will stay away from it. They'll land somewhere else. So I would say that it's highly valuable. It may seem like a sticker shock at first, but once you're not cleaning bird poop up off of everything, off your concrete, off of your horse corrals, off of your roofs, just all of these things. And the other thing too, John, we didn't even get into it, was the bird flu. Feces there's diseases in that. There's, the bird flu can travel through the feces as well. And with that scare going around with the eggs and it being able to affect cattle, and there hasn't been any horses affected yet, thank goodness. But hey, we're on high alert. We don't want to have to put all of our animals down because of a situation or like that. So to me, that system is worth its weight in gold.
It's awesome. Well, you're going to say it way better than I can ever say it, and I appreciate you saying it. So, Scott, appreciate our partnership. When I post this on social media, I'm going to ask you to give me a link where people can go and learn more about what you do for kids in the community. Maybe make a donation. I know you're an Arizona state tax credit, so people get it back if they make the donation. And I look forward to continuing to partner with TRAK and everything else that you're doing.
Sorry, my dog.
That's all good. Thanks, Scott.
They had to say goodbye too.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Hey, have a great day.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thanks.